feel like that this is like the point at horror movies where, you know, the girl's sitting inside like I don't know, an old garage or something, and she peeks out and you're like, don't do it, don't do it, don't step out, don't step out. She takes a step out and then like the monster comes and like attacks her and whatnot. I feel like that's how y'all are feeling about me right now. I'm sitting here and I'm just like, oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll just substitute instant yeast for dry active yeast. It's all the same. And everyone at home was like, oh, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm gonna do it. Good morning and welcome to Amateur Hour, my pretend cooking show. Today I'm going to be making soft and crispy focaccia, woo, from Claire Saffitz Dessert Person. This week, y'all. Get excited. I read the recipe beforehand and I watched a video on how to do it. No mistakes will be made. This is going to be a perfect recipe. First time ever. Let's get started. Okay, so the recipe says to use active dry yeast, but they only had instant yeast at the grocery store. Read online and I think that I can substitute it without any problems and it shouldn't be a big deal. Ingredient wise, it's a very simple recipe. I'm pumped. I haven't opened up this flour before and it was already opened. I don't know what that says, probably not good. All right, whatever. And I'm gonna put my instant yeast in. Problem is that, so with active yeast, right, you dissolve dry active yeast into water first, which I'm not going to do. Does the recipe still need that water? So should I still add the water? Or if I add the water, will that be too much? I feel like I should add it. Diamond crystal kosher salt, or of course, kosher salt to us plebeians. 2 tablespoons of this. All right, and then you know what? I'm gonna go for it. Maybe I should just do 2.5 first and then put 3 in later. It would be better to put less in now and then put in more later. Right? Use a stand mixer with a dough attachment. I don't own one of those, so I have a hand mixer I'm going to use with a dough attachment. I haven't ever used these before, so I don't know how it's going to work out or know if this is going to be good or not. But you know, why not try it out for the first time on live video? Finished mixing, and then I let this sit for 10 minutes. And now we're going to have a go at it again. I'm going to mix it again for 10 to 15 minutes. Oh, we're going to feather. It's very sticky right now, but it said no matter how sticky it is, do not add any more water. Okay. All right, woo! My dough is very elastic. It's pulling away from the sides. It's looking good. Also, if I do this for any longer, I think I might burn up the motor on this thing. It's getting really hot. I'm gonna take a 1/4 cup of my oil and put it in here. All right, and then I'm going to scrape my dough into here. It's important that none of this dough is touching this side, so I'm just gonna come in here and pull the bits of dough that are on the side away from the side. And then I'm just gonna take some of the olive oil from the side and I'm just gonna put it on top. Here is my dough. I'm gonna cover it again with the same towel, then I'm gonna let this rise for an hour, and then we will be back. Can you see me? I'm putting a 1/4 cup of oil into my pan here. Splashed it a little bit. All right, that's fine. around to all the sides. Okay, so now with this, it's gonna be kind of a mess. Okay, so I've got my hands around the side. I'm going all the way down to the bottom. Woo! I'm just stretching it and putting it down. And then rotating the bowl 90 degrees and doing the same thing. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this in my pan here. And I'm just going to stretch it out. I'm just doing it as far as I can here until it springs back. There's definitely a bit in here that I can see that got dried out a little bit. Alright, so I'm gonna let this sit for 15 minutes. Put cling wrap on it, let it sit for 15 minutes, and then I'll finish stretching it out. I'm gonna carefully take this off. Stack to the top. That's chill. It's chill. I'm chill. Now I'm going to spread this out to the corners. It's like thicker in the middle and thinner on the sides, so I'm trying to even it out here. I'm thinking it looks dang good. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this back up again, and then I'm going to put it in the fridge, and it's going to stay there until tomorrow. So it'll slowly rise over the 24 hours, and then, although you can see it, we will bake. It looks great. Yeah. Alright, so we are on day 2. This rose overnight. It's ready to be cooked. I'm gonna first make my toppings. So I'm doing a garlic rosemary topping on mine. Alright, so all I'm doing here is just thinly slicing my garlic. Four cloves of garlic and then 2 little twig things of rosemary, which I've assumed is 2 tablespoons, but it's really hard to measure that. And then a 1/4 cup of olive oil. Alright, so it's just garlic and rosemary and olive oil. So I'm just gonna get some oil on my fingers from the corner, and I'm gonna do this process of dimpling the dough. Okay, I think that's good. I feel like at this point I am getting rid of more air bubbles than I should. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to now just drizzle on my topping. This is not going very smoothly. It's all landing in clumps places. And then I'm going to top it with flaky salt. I think that looks great. Yay! Okay, so I'm gonna put this in the oven on the bottom rack for 25 minutes, and then I'm gonna put it in for 5 more minutes on the top rack, and then we'll be good to go. Woo! Woo! Oh my god. It looks so good. It looks so good. It looks so good. Oh, I'm so excited to eat this. It's also just like, it's so pretty too. It's very pretty. Alright, so my focaccia has been cooling. As you can see, I had some small difficulties getting it out of the pan. It was supposed to crisp up on the bottom. It's like crisp, soft and crispy focaccia is the name of the recipe. It's supposed to be crispy on the top and crispy on the bottom. It's really not crispy on the bottom. I don't think that it was like the issue was that there was not enough oil, because there was a ton of oil in this recipe. So I don't think that's the reason why it stuck to the bottom. I think that it stuck to the bottom because it just didn't crisp up, which I was supposed to cook it on the bottom for 20 to 25 minutes, and I cooked it for 23 minutes. I don't really know. Either way, I scratched up my new pan with knife marks trying to get this out of here, so all good things. Okay, so Claire cuts this with scissors in her video, so I thought I would try that. I had a friend and I went over to her house one time and her mom cut our peanut butter and jellies with scissors, which I thought was really funny, and I was thinking about this morning when I was thinking about how I was gonna cut this. Okay, all right, we'll see how this goes. Ooh, I mean the scissors seem to be working. I'm just taking other bits off of this. I want more garlic, and I didn't spread out the toppings very well, but it looks really... This is so good! Oh no! I just picked the garlic up off the ground and put it back on my focaccia. Don't judge me. I'm realizing now that the bread at the macaroni grill is focaccia bread. It tastes just like the macaroni grill bread. This is so good. This is so good. Oh my god. The only thing that would fix this recipe is potentially finding a way to make the bottom crispy. Obviously there's a way to do that. Claire did it, but mine just didn't cook that way. I don't know why. Overall, I have to say, I don't regret using the instant yeast. It was so much easier to use than the active dry yeast. I hate having to measure out the temperature of the water, and it turned out great. It turned out great. Woo! 10 out of 10.